What's up, everyone? Welcome to Power Play with CJ. Today we're going to continue the 10 question segment with 10 questions the Carolina Hurricanes will be facing as they go into the season. Without further ado, number 10, will Ryan Murphy win the Calder? He's going to have a good rookie year. I want to pick him to win the Calder. I think there's going to be some struggles defensively, but you'll see a really electrifying defenseman out there, and he's a great young player, and he makes up for the lack of size with amazing skating ability. And I think you'll be hearing about him for a long time. But he'll have a good rookie year. But I'm not picking him on the Calder. Now I say that, and there could be egg on my face come May or June next year, and the awards get handed out. Number 9. Speaking of rookies, will Elias Lindholm make the team? No, I think he'll be back in Sweden next year. I know he's signed the ELC, but the thing of it is if he doesn't make the team, he's going to go back to his Swedish team. I think he's with Leksands, so that'll be beneficial to his development, and I think it's a win-win. And but I think he'll be next year. I think he'll be playing some big-time minutes for them. Number 8. Which Cam Ward are we getting? Are we getting the Cam Ward that led the Hurricanes on 2 long playoff runs, or are we getting the Cam Ward that struggled at times, was subpar, and really didn't get it done last year before he got hurt? That's a big question. I think you'll get a little bit of both. Cam Ward, I love him as a goalie, but he is kind of overrated. I say that, but he's got a Conn Smythe and a Stanley Cup. I don't. A lot of goalies don't either. But I definitely think he'll be better than he was. But I think a lot of people overrate him because you see it. He really came into the league with a boom. Winning a Stanley Cup without playing a full season in the NHL, and that's one thing that really set the bar really high for him. But he'll be all right. Number 7 is Justin Falk, a legit number 1 defenseman. Yes, absolutely. The young man out of the University of Minnesota Duluth in the United States National Team Development Program will have a very good third year in the league, and he's due for a contract extension. So, the Mr. Rutherford, get your checkbook out. You have to pay this kid money because he's big time, and I think he'll be a big time weapon for them next year. Speaking of youngsters, another 2010 draft pick, 40 goals for Skinner next year. Yeah, why not? If he's healthy, I could see him scoring 40. Definitely. He's an amazing skater. He's got a great offensive instinct, and it's a great head for the game of hockey. I definitely think he can score 40 goals next year. So put me down for 40 on Jeff Skinner. Number 5, another winger. Alex Semin. What Alex Semin are we getting? Now that he's got that big fat contract extension that he's always wanted, how's he going to be? And, Semin's kind of hit or miss. He always has been, going back to his Capitals days. He's in a tough spot. You're in a tough spot with him. But I think he'll be solid next year. I think he's really I don't want to say reinvented himself because that's really going too far. But, I definitely think he won't be as... first of all, I think the whole cancer in the locker room stuff was all overblown. He's a good player. He's got an amazing skill set. I just think at times the effort wasn't always there. But I think, with Kirk Muller and everything, he's, really found himself, and he's got a good niche in Carolina. So, we'll see what happens. But I think he's going to continue it. Will Eric and Jordan Staal show the chemistry they didn't show last year? Well, first of all, they were an injury-riddled team. They really weren't playing together much. I don't think you got to see either one of them at their best. They're obviously 2 of the better centers in the game. And actually, it's funny, Elias Lindholm, I met him at the draft. I didn't do an interview with him. But he was wearing the jersey. It was after they drafted him. I said, I shook his hand, congratulated him, said, he's a really nice kid. And I said, you got to be playing with 2 of the best in the Staal brothers. He goes, I want to learn a lot from them. On how to be a good center, and I really should. Not just talking to the kid off the record, but I think he's definitely, they're leaders on that team. The Skinners, the Falks, they're all going to fall in line, and eventually Lindholm, Victor Rask, guys like that, and I think that's something that'll that both of them will do. Bring the leadership, and I think their on-ice production was better than it was last year. Number 3, will Jiri Tlusny keep up the pace he showed last year? First of all, Tlusny was written off as a bust by a lot of people, and he scored an amazing clip last year and showed why he was a first-round pick of the Toronto Maple Leafs back in 2006. I think he will. I think you can put him down for 25 to 30 next year. Do I think he's going to be a 40 goal scorer? No, but I think 25, 30 goals next year is reasonable for Jiri Tlusny if he's healthy, and I see no reason why he won't be healthy. Speaking of health, will Ruutu stay healthy? Will Tuomo Ruutu stay healthy? I don't think so. He's been hurt every year, seemingly. And I think that's what's killed Carolina's chances of making the playoffs, or having more success on the ice than they've had. And if he's healthy, there's another top six forward that can do a lot of things and help and contribute in a lot of ways. But I don't see him staying healthy for full 82 games. But I say that, and like I said, could be egg on a seat, egg on my face. Speaking of the number one question, is Kirk Muller on the hot seat? No, I just think last year they were an injury-riddled team. The year before he took over in December, so I don't think it's. I don't think Rutherford's ready to pull the trigger on it. I think he gets a full season this year, regardless of what happens. So I think there's some job security there, but I also know the pressure's on them to win. They're spending more money than they ever have, and this is a team that won the Stanley Cup 7 years ago. So with that being said, they've got to be cognizant of the money on what they're putting into the ice, and ensure that the coaching staff is getting the best out of its players. And I think it was last year, especially with Toulouse coming on and having a great year. So. Anyway, that's on this episode of the Power Play with CJ on 10 questions facing the Carolina Hurricanes. Stay tuned for episodes throughout the offseason and beyond. Later, guys.